Whew. All right. What a way to start it out. I mean, honestly, wouldn't have it any other way. Maru, of course, is known for his proxies. Maru is known for really doing everything in TVT. I think Maru as a player has the strongest Terran versus Terran of anyone in the world. I think that is probably undisputed. Maru's TVT has always been extremely good, and just within, I mean, it's been so long since there's been a player that's potentially consistently beat him. For a while, Kir did have, was trading matches with Maru, but that was a while ago. And now it's just kind of the Maru show. His TVT is on another level. Heromarine, though, many times these players have faced in best of fives, and many times Heromarine has always gotten close to winning. Heromarine has been able to get Maru to the edge, but Maru just holds on. He just doesn't die. And sometimes that is all it takes, is the pure efficiency that Maru is able to pull out. But he started this off with a proxy 2 racks. How else would you start off this best of 5 if you are Maru? I mean, come on. This is bread and butter, and Heromarine is not going to be able to scout it out with that SCV. It is just barely out of range of seeing where that is back at home. Maru has done this off of 1 gas, mind you. So this is not super committed. You will get out 3 to 4 Reapers pretty comfortably, and then with the additional gas, you'll have that factory fairly shortly after. So it is just, this is a very well-timed build here by Maru. He knows that you don't need to actually go into that immediate double gas. Maru gets the first shot off, and that's actually massive to start off this engagement. Heromarine is going to trade back that shot. Maru able to make this quite yet. Does get a bit of chip damage onto the Reaper with his own SCV, but is going to have to wait for the second Reaper here to pop on out, and that one is going to just try and head straight up, but there's already SCVs there. Maru has to be careful, pulls it back, is going to try and look to snipe this first Reaper, but Heromarine honestly has been controlling this amazingly, is trying to finish the factory. But Maru is just going to delay it a little bit longer, and that might just be all that Maru needs to try and find some, pretty decent damage here, as 5 SCVs are going to go down. The Reapers are kept alive. A third one has joined, and now Heromarine knows where that proxy location is, as Maru has placed down his own factory. He's going to retreat with the Reapers, and honestly, got damage done. Not an incredible amount of damage. Not anything that is going to be game-ending by any means. And I think Heromarine, they did really well there. You lose 5 workers, but also, mind you, Maru has been cutting workers, so you're not actually going to be that far behind when it comes to the worker count, and you hold on to this proxy racks. I think overall, Heromarine is going to be very happy with his position so far in this game, and now he's just keeping tabs on where these units are, using his Hellions and his Reapers inside the main base to stop them from jumping up and finding any more damage, as the barracks have been floated and are going to be returning back home. But Maru finds an opening, and this might be quite a few SCV kills. The dance is going to continue here. Reaper steps too far out for Big Gabe, and the Hellion's getting low. Maru microing this wonderfully, is going to be able to snipe off a few more SCVs. They are pulled off the line. 4 more going down. The Hellion is sniped, and now another Reaper is going to go down. Maru just has 1 left. He's sniped 4 SCVs. Not going to be able to get that last low health worker for Heromarine. But this is the kind of damage that Maru needed, as 4 more SCVs go down, 9 in total, and trades out the army fairly well as well. Great trades so far from Maru, and now look at this. That's going to be, how long has it been since we've seen Magfield Accelerator in TVT? Cyclones coming out. Is Maru going to go mech in this game? It's not the worst position to go potentially double factory. I definitely think there's a possibility that this could work out for Maru, as the Cyclone is going to push back that Hellion. It's not going to be allowed to deny the command center building, and Heromarine is going straight into a medevac. So he is going to be planning to be aggressive here with these Cyclones and Marines that are coming out. He's going to want to push them across the map, as Maru is just chasing down that Hellion. But the Magfield Accelerator is really the big story here, as the reactor is being built onto the barracks. If that starport gets swapped over onto it, then it is just going to be, a mech play here from Maru with Vikings and tanks, most likely. I'm so interested to see how Maru is going to handle this, but for the time being, we are going to be seeing Heromarine float out his command center. Maru already had his on location, so we're not going to see actually that big of an advantage for Heromarine, even in that CC timing, as Maru right now sitting up 6 workers. Again, just that backstab with the Reapers. Big Game not quite being in position is all that it takes for Maru to find some, damage that is going to allow him to start to snowball this lead, as the Cyclones are going to be able to keep really good map control. And I think this is the main reason why Maru has gone for them, is with the Magfield Accelerator, the DPS from this Cyclone is just absolutely insane, and it's finishing up soon. Maru's just going to dive on top of the Cyclone to Heromarine. Oh, and this is disastrous for Gabe. As the Cyclone goes down, now the medevac is here, so you can start to hop these Cyclones up into the main. Maru is just... God, he is good at this video game. As, oh, 3 SCVs going down. Marines have just walked across the map, and they're looking for a little bit of damage. The Cyclone is getting low. Maru pulls it back just in time, as he's also looking for damage back. Ooh, Cyclone goes down for Maru, though. And Heromarine starting to even up that worker count just a little bit, getting it back within 4 with that backstab. Marines just walk them straight across the map, and sometimes it is those small moves where you can find just a little bit of damage here and there. We've seen it many times, especially in TVP. You'll see players walk their Marines across while they're doing something else across the map. That's a great snipe on the tank. And man, even one Cyclone just does so much damage with this upgrade. As Maru continuing to find value, is now bringing across tanks as well. He's going to look to continue on this pressure. Raven also out. I believe, yeah. Heromarine does have a Raven of his own. 2 tanks are now out for the Terran as these Cyclones are continuing to be ferried up into this main base to try and find damage. Supply depot is going to get sniped here. This won't supply block the Mouse Sports Terran, but it will just make it a little bit more awkward as the supply block is now coming through. No more cycles units after this. Refinery going to be focused down, so no more gas production from this Vespene Geyser at the very least, and Maru just trying to find small little bits of damage here. Second tank is being rallied, and this natural base is so open right now. It feels like Maru could just walk up and find the damage, but it's just a little bit too late at this point. The scan goes down, but Gabe has moved his Ravens back into position. He's going to scout out where these units are. And behind this, we do have engineering base coming down. Oh, look at the lock-ons. Maru just going for it. He actually snipes the tank. Oh, my. Even gets the Cyclone there with his own tanks that have been sieged up. Maru just fully taking advantage of this position. Now, I mean, Heromarine has to move over the 1 tank that he had in his main. There are 3 tanks available for Maru. Reinforcements streaming across the map. The SCVs are going to have to be pulled. Where are the auto turrets for Gabe? They haven't been placed down. Another tank gets sniped. Maru with his Cyclone. It has 8 kills. That is ridiculous, as a Raven is also going to go down. The focus fire is insane. SCVs are falling, and this is game-ending damage. GG! All right, and very quickly, we are on to game number 2. Top right-hand corner of Data C is going to be Heromarine. And in the bottom left, from Onside Gaming, just showing a masterclass there in game 1. It is, of course, Maru. Man, I still can't get over that Cyclone targeting. Maru is just, you love to watch it. And of course, can't fanboy too much. I have to remain impartial. You know, I gotta look at this with an even eye. I can't be like Maru fanboying the whole time, but it was just incredibly good play from Maru in that last game. The opening, being able to find the damage that he did was impressive, considering the fact that Heromarine mostly shut down the first wave of Reapers. But then Maru microed it very well, found that small opening, and did the most that he could with it. I think maybe he could have gotten 2 more SCVs if he focused them, but I think he really got the value that he needed. And then the Magfield Accelerator Cyclone transition is not something that I have seen before, but was so effective at just slowing down Heromarines tank production. And just sniping off units, sniping off supply depots, all these little things that meant that when Maru eventually made that push, he just had so much to work with. And then the targeting, it was really, really well handled. And obviously, that was a very small map that we were on. Inside Out is only 6 bases. The rush distance is extremely short, and so it is a map that's easier to make those aggressive plays work on. Data C is a little bit bigger. We're looking at a map that is, I believe, it can be split top to bottom or left to right. Either way, you're going to have about 7 bases, 7 to 8 bases on each side of the map. I believe, yeah, 8 bases on each side of the map. So it's a lot bigger. And you also have the advantage of, in the late game, these rich Vespene Geysers, which especially for Terran are very, very useful. Even when you're going bio, once you eventually get into the Raven Viking Wars, having those rich Vespene Geysers can really increase your gas collection rate, and then you'll just have more Ravens. And we've seen so many times that the name of the game in TVT, I mean, I'm thinking back to the Bunny versus Maru GSL games. if you have those Ravens, it is so much utility that you get. It's such a massive advantage once you have that air dominance in Terran versus Terran that it can win you the game, really. And we see Maru, most of the time when he knows the game is going late, he will heavily prioritize that air dominance. He does everything in his power to survive. Maru's game plan, if he knows that it's going to go late and he wants it to go late, is to survive. And if that means that your opponent is being aggressive and he takes some damage, he'll usually end up skipping something like Stim in exchange for grabbing his 1/1 upgrades faster. Then he'll grab Stim. And we'll see, you know, usually your standard is, I think, 5 barracks, 2 factory with the starport. And then as soon as you get up to 4 bases, really, that's when you're looking to add on your 2 additional starports. That's when you're looking to get into Ravens. You put down the fusion core, especially if you're not constantly trading units across the map with the bio. But we'll see how this game does end up going. This is just speculation. This is, you know, kind of the flow of a lot of Terran versus Terran games. We are seeing Maru here, interestingly enough, is going to be going up to 3 Hellions and 5 Reapers, which is, again, higher than the usual. What does it really mean? It does mean that you're getting a slower Cyclone. You're getting slower tanks. Your Raven is not out as quick. And so you're investing a lot into these early units. You do need to find at least map control or a little bit of damage with them. Now, Heromarine will have a Cyclone out by the time these get across the map. And I would not be surprised if Maru splits them up, goes Hellions into the main, Reapers into, or Hellions into the natural, Reapers into the main. But it does not appear to be the plan. Instead, just going to send up the 1 Hellion, bait out the Widowmine Shot, and then try and take the fight. Now, there's a lot of DPS in these Reapers, but you just see Maru has to back on up. Despite having the larger army, yeah, it just doesn't really work. And especially on such a large map like Data C with this rush distance, I'm not sure if I really like this opening as much. Now, the Reaper's coming up into the main. This is a very, very good move here for Maru, as he's going to be able to snipe off multiple SCVs, already getting 5. Can probably grab a 6th and a 7th as long as he micros this well. Heromarine with a good pullback onto that SCV. It gets into the Vespene Geyser. So only 6 are going to go down, but still that is 6 SCVs for the 5 Reapers. It is a very, very decent trade there for Maru, who's now going to be setting up those 6 workers. 35 to 29 is working on his own tank production. Because we did see Heromarine go for that Cyclone first, the tank difference is not going to be that large. Maru will actually have his tank out about 20 seconds slower than his opponent, or 15 seconds slower than his opponent. The Raven timing as well is going to be really massive. Right now, it's only 10 seconds, but in the long run, that can start to make a pretty big difference, as we are going to be seeing Heromarine here look for a push out. I believe, is he bringing a tank, or is it just going to be the Cyclone? Yeah, it's just the Cyclone for now. The Raven is going to be looking for a backstab into the main base, drop down some auto turret harasses. Both players have thrown down their 3rd command centers. And overall, this is a fairly standard Terran versus Terran. We do see that Heromarine here is getting into his extra barracks a little bit quicker. I believe Maru, yeah, has not started those up just yet. Did he, where did that money go? I'm trying to see. Remember right now, yeah, not really investing in anything. It's just continued unit production. And of course, I think continued worker production as well is the very big MO. He's already going to be up about, excuse me, he's going to be up about 10 workers. Did see those 3 go down. I did not actually catch the sight of where those 3 workers were lost. It might have, oh, was it a Raven into the main? Yeah, Raven into the main. Auto turret harass. Works every time. As we are going to be seeing, yeah, Maru just bait a few units in there, tank shot out, and overall, it's fine. Engineering base going down. Maru is now adding on his 2 barracks, and he's getting up his stim pack. Again, Heromarine is actually just slightly faster on these timings, despite having a lower worker count. And it does appear as though I think Maru has just widened that worker gap. I think Heromarine cut a few corners, delayed a few SCV rounds to get these buildings out, and so that's why Maru has extended this lead. Is now sitting at 26 workers on that natural base. The 3rd will be floating out as 1-1 starts up for both the players. And also Maru has gone into the faster Viking production, which is very big to keep track of. When you have one player going for medevacs as opposed to one player who is getting the Vikings, if that medevac player does make a misstep and you take an engagement a little bit too hastily, or you try and take the head-on fight, a lot of times if you try and break the kind of defenses of the Viking player, it will just really backfire. Because even though the medevacs do give you a lot more aggressive potential, as we see there, a nice scout with this Hellion on the Xel'Naga Watchtower is going to be able to see that drop. Sensor Tower also comes down at the perfect moment, so Maru has 100% knows what is going on here. He's going to bring the Vikings over. Heromarine will see it, and that should just dissuade Heromarine from really trying to push. This is 4 tanks in this position. Yeah, you really do not want to push on into that. Stimpack is done for Heromarine. He's going to be finishing in 10 seconds here for Maru, as Heromarine continuing to play this positioning game, trying to see if he can catch Maru out of position. Sensor Tower is just providing so much information right now, though. This combat shields has been started up for both players. Additional barracks are going down in the main base. Armory also on the way here for Maru, so we'll be looking to very, very quickly get into that 2-2. Heromarines is not that far behind. It's just a very, very small timing difference there. As Maru is continuing to push his tanks forward here, continuing to try and get grounds so that Heromarine has less and less of a chance to move forward. And really what this pressure has done is it's allowed Heromarine to catch up on that worker count, but mind you, Maru has not been producing workers. He's gotten up to 69, and he had all that saturation essentially on his natural base alone. And so Maru is just going to sit on that. So he hasn't had to actually produce SCVs, and now we're starting to see that pull out an advantage. We're seeing the army count is actually just growing here for Maru. He's added on his 2 additional barracks a lot quicker than Heromarine, and now is going to be getting into medevacs as he already has the Viking lead, 4 of them out. Heromarine has only just now started up his own Vikings. Oh, yeah, never mind. Heromarine already has 4. What am I talking about? No, Heromarine already does have his 4. As engagement's going down here, nice catch by Maru. He's going to be able to stop this small group of Marines that was trying to poke around on the right side of the map. But also the 2-2 starts up 10 seconds earlier. Again, these differences aren't going to be extremely massive, but once you start to take trades and once the game starts to get a bit more aggressive, you can definitely start to see a lead grown just by the virtue of having these small leads on the upgrades. Maru did add on those medevacs, of course, to help heal up these groups of Marines so that he can move around the map a bit more. Has gone up to 4. So if he so desired, could have 2 groups of Marines separate. He's just going to be consolidating them all into 1. As the +1 vehicle weapons has been started up for Maru, and that is actually something that Heromarine is missing. And there we go. 2 additional starports on the ground already for Maru. He is preparing for the late game. He's going to be preparing to get up that Raven count to add on Corvid Reactor. And all of the other goodies that Maru is known for. 4th Command Center also on the way. This timing is just looking very, very crisp so far for Maru. Now, Heromarine does have the advantage there in that 4th base. I will give Heromarine, or Heromarine does have that, as right now he's going to be able to push that out. Maru's is still building. Oh, actually, no, Maru, that's his 5th. Never mind. Maru's already started on a 5th command center. His 4th was built at the right time. That is actually a pretty big lead. That's a pretty big advantage here for Maru. Just going to be having that extra energy available. Gabe has caught up now in that army count. Of course, the +1 on the vehicles. Ooh, nice catch again by Maru. Just sees a few units unstimmed. He's going to be able to dive on top of them. He's going to push Gabe all the way back. Scans, sees the tanks. His planetary fortress is going down. Gabe also adding on his 2 additional starports. It's just going to be a little bit later, but in reality, I don't think it's going to matter too much. And look at this. Maru is taking this straight to the late game. He has accepted the fact that this game is going to go long. Both players are ready to split map this. And so he's getting up the command center count to add on as many orbitals as he's going to need to have infinite scans. Corvid Reactor +2 for the vehicles already started up. And now the Raven production will begin. And as we get into this part of the game, acquiring this 5th base is going to be so important for these players. Gabe has thrown down his own command centers. I believe right now just has the 2 buildings, so does not have a 5th base done just yet, as Maru is going to clip the side of these Marines that are moving out. That's a very, very nice catch here for Maru. He's going to look to intercept them. Scan. Only gets the singular medevac, or Gabe does pull away. Corvid Reactor all start up for the Mouse Sports Terran. 3-3 on time for both these players. The 3rd command center for Heromarine, and both of them just transitioning very, very nicely between these stages of the game to a point where neither of them really feels like, oh yeah, I have a decisive advantage to really push here. And so both are going to sit back. Both are going to get into the late game, and we're going to start to see, we're going to see how good is Heromarines late game TVT. We all know it's good, But is it up to Maru's level at the current moment? That is that's a question that I don't want to. I would not want it. I would not want that to be asked of me. No one wants that to be asked of them. 2 more starports for Maru, and look at that, 5 command centers for Gabe. He's going crazy. Says, listen, I know Maru builds a lot of command centers, but guess who can build more? That's right, it's me. Orbital Commands started up. A 6th base and a 7th base have been planted for Maru, who's just looking to take over the map right now. Gabe should scout out the 7th, though, and I don't think Maru is going to be able to keep this up. Should just be the cancel. Ooh, not even a cancel. Actually a pretty big loss there, but it should be maybe a kill across the way as well. 5th base of Heromarine is going to go down, and that's a pretty massive loss here for the Mousesports Terran, but some amazing interference makes his 2 tanks are still alive, though. The Vikings have to just drop to the ground in order to fight this, as the tanks are trying their absolute hardest, and they just might have enough. Gabe does not want to keep pushing in with more tanks here and reinforcements. Maru barely holds on, delays the 5th base of his opponent. And that is a massive victory here for Maru, who is now going to be mining quite, I mean, I see mining actually quite a bit more than his opponent even. Gabe right now just, I believe, did just drop a round of mules. Did he even know? Maru's just down actually in that income, despite having the additional base up. Gabe will finally establish his own 5th in the much safer location, expanding to the left side of the map. Maru is looking to split the map up and down. And this, of course, means that both players have an easier time getting to this rich Vespine Geyser, because you will be able to defend it with the right and left side bases, which you can take and have a tank line at, as well as the high ground that is provided from your 5th base location. So far, this game just looking like it is going so late. As we're looking at 8 Ravens for Maru to the 4 of Heromarine, but the big difference is 16 Vikings for the Mousesports Terran. His air army is absolutely ridiculous, as there is no fighting that straight on. As Gabe should be able to win that tank duel to stop Maru from continuing to push this location. Right now, the only upgrade that Heromarine has, or that Maru has, is in the vehicle plating. The vehicle and ship plating +1 has finished there for Maru. He's working on ship weapons and ship and vehicle plating level 2. So Maru has saturated now his 6th base. Gabe still looking to establish his own 6th. Some nice movement here from Maru. Actually has skirted around the vision of the sensor tower, and that's a pretty big blunder for Gabe, not having that, being able to scout out where Maru's army is moving. As Maru dives forward, interference makes this on the tanks. Gabe has not been able to do the same, but Maru is losing a lot here. The planetary fortress holding strong. And Gabe holding on for now. Again, that Viking advantage has been narrowed. Maru does not have all of his Vikings together just yet, though, as auto turrets are going to go down. Oh, the armor shreds are just so good here from Maru, but the ground army is going to be able to push it back, and Maru's supply actually plummets down to 160, as Gabe has taken an amazing fight in this game. It is not going to be game deciding, but is one of many moves that Heromarine will have to make, as he has just been out trading Maru here. Some really great positioning from the European Terran. Is now going to siege up the 3rd base of the onside Terran and Maru, and sensor tower is going to go down. The Vikings are going to fight up in the air just because Maru knows he has that advantage. It is 11-8, but with the anti-armor missile coming down the tanks, the Marines stimming on forward. I think this is a bit of a blunder, though, by Heromarine trying to push that forward. Maru had a great position already sieged up. But behind this, mind you, Heromarine has established a planetary fortress at his 6th base location that is a base that Maru was actually looking to expand to. Right now, Heromarine comfortably in the lead, as very nice play here by Maru is going to be able to snipe off that tank, keep his refinery alive. Heromarine is right now just working with a larger army. His worker count is actually lower at the current moment. The air army for Maru, again, it does trade better, as these tank volleys are actually going in favor of Maru. He's going to be able to snipe all 3 of those tanks, I believe. But look at this. Heromarine actually swinging it over to the 5th base, and there's just nothing here. It is a planetary, and that is it. The tanks can siege up. I don't think Heromarine wants to risk it, though. It's just going to back up. Doesn't want to risk losing this whole army now that Maru has had time to remax. But you got to be careful. You just can't be sitting out in the open. so dangerous there for Heromarine as these tank volleys are going to go off. And the +2 for both these players, meaning that once those Marines stim, they are just getting one shot by the tanks. As look at this, a Liberator has been added on by Maru. Armor Shred is going to connect with everything. Mind you, Maru still with that +2 vehicle and ship plating. That is his major advantage right now in this game. His air army just fights so much better alongside the weapon upgrades. I mean, we're currently looking at +1 versus +0. It will be evened out soon in that department, but even then, just the additional armor making such a difference. So we still have a tank here. Actually being capped at this third base is Maru. He's going to be looking to move on forward. That tank is in danger. The Marine is going to pull it back just in time, but continuing to push forward. The Liberator is still available here for Maru to help push. And this single Liberator has been so crucial for Maru being able to break Heromarine's position as the anti-armor missile doesn't actually connect for Heromarine. Ooh, interference matrix is going down. The Liberator is going to get sniped. The tanks are being pushed down. Heromarine just has so much on the ground. It's currently 40 Marines to 32, but it feels like Heromarine can just push through. The planetary fortress, though, is going to sit strong. These planetaries getting so much value in these games in stopping the Marines from just pummeling through these armies, as Maru has also established what is now going to be, I believe, his 7th base, or even his 8th base, up in the top left. There's currently 7 bases available for Heromarine. Interference matrix is going down. Tanks are going to push back. It was a good unsiege from Heromarine, but you don't have any other tanks supporting this position. Maru has to be careful, though. Again, the planetary going to be able to hold strong as Heromarine is floating out to the top left. Both of these bases just so close to each other. But mind you, Maru also has the bottom right as he's continuing to push his air army, just trying to proxy this location. Heromarines taking this fight before the anti-armor missile has actually worn off. And so, even with the advantage in the Viking count, still taking a few more losses than I think he wants to. The Marines unable to push back the Vikings as Heromarine has finally managed to seesaw himself an advantage. And it is just constantly the fight for air dominance right now. Excuse me, right now in this game. +3/+3 for Maru is on the way. Heromarine, again, is vastly behind in these air upgrades. And once that +3 finishes, even with the Viking advantage, it's going to be so hard for him to find a good fight as Maru, look at this swinging of his army. He has tanks sieged up here, but everything else is moving. Maru does have to be careful because, mind you, Heromarine's whole army is at this location. Maru, this is the perfect time to go for a backstab. There's just nothing here for Heromarine. Maru, I think, is going to have the opening. The Marines are going to stim on in. They're just going to go straight for the third base, the 4th base, and there's just nothing here. Heromarine has to bring over all of his army. But the planetary fortress is still going to go down. The repair is good. And Maru is going to lose so much here. Auto turrets helping the retreat, but most of the Marines are going to fall. You snipe a 4th that was actually mostly mined out. And back at the 7th base location for Maru, Heromarine's tanks have actually pushed him back, but a good scan here from Maru. He's going to be able to snipe off, I believe, yeah. Oh, no! Heromarine actually wins that trade even. It's the 8-base Maru right now, just trying to get that gold, or that rich Vespine Geyser mining. Really the main goal of this game is, once again, Maru swinging his bio over. But here come the Vikings. Repair is already preemptively there on the planetary, but look at the Vikings shred as they cut through the planetary fortress. The 7th base is gone. No more rich Vespine Geyser for Maru. Has been trying to take advantage of the fact that big game sensor towers, they are just not in the position that you need. There's only one sensor tower here, and that is all the vision that Heromarine has. But look at this, 2 tanks going to siege up this planetary in the bottom right. A nice move here by Gabe as he knows that Maru's army is in the top left. Maru, he's just going to go for this. Yes, he is. Dives on the tank. Anti-armor missile is going to connect on a lot of the air army, so Maru has to back up, especially with the interference matrix on the tank. Right now, that air army, not even solidly, 15 Vikings to 13. The big difference is 13 Ravens to 8, as these tanks actually don't even have a scan. They can move a bit closer to get vision. Heromarine continuing to try and move around, scout out where this army is. +3 vehicle ship plating did just finish up for Maru, and that is going to be a massive difference maker. His Vikings and his Ravens going to be so much more tanky. Oh no, there's no tanks here for Gabe. Maru, where's the scan? He doesn't realize. I mean, that could have just been a base kill, but Maru actually doesn't have that many tanks. It's 9-3, now 7 available for Heromarine. But the tank count for Maru, I mean, it's really non-existent. His tanks are with his army, but there's not enough to really solidly hold a position. So I believe that was SCVs just being traded off to each other. Both players wanting to open up supply now for their armies as, look at this, Heromarine just going to power push down this location. Says, you have not respected me, just walking up, and Maru didn't. As Gabe is now going to be taking this Rich Vespine Geyser base. And actually, Gabe, I feel like, no, he can't continue to push the location. Because the threat of Maru just stimming on in. Whose base is, oh, look at the interference matrices! As Maru is diving on in, and he's looking for this fight, and he's going to absolutely roll over it. As all of the tanks were disabled, Maru stays on siege. He's going to be able to snipe this command center. And the bank for Heromarine has plummeted. There's still 3K minerals available for Maru, almost 4K, as he's using this Raven energy to the max. The Ravens have gone down, but they have had so much value as Maru is trying to clean up the air battle, and he's going to be able to do just that. 12 Vikings to 5. There are 8 Ravens available for Heromarine, though, that did survive. That is the one saving grace here for Heromarine right now, as he's going to lose another base as well. And Maru with the complete +3 upgrades, now going to be getting up to 9, or I believe 8 bases. And Heromarine, I mean, how do you recover from this? I mean, the income is massive. He's thrown down so many mules at this base just in order to build an army, and usually you don't want to be using mules this liberally in a TVT, because the faster you mine out, the less and less units you are going to have as you continue to take fights. But I mean, Heromarine has to do it. He's going to be able to keep an eye here on the movement of Maru as the tanks are going to siege on up. Look at the load up though. Maru's just going to go straight for the base, and he knows that it's open. Yeah, there's not really much that Heromarine can do. Luckily, did get the full mining from the mules, and that's really, really nice for Gabe. He's been able to max out because of it. And, ooh, look at this movement. Oh, Heromarine. Is he going to try and cut off the army? Yes, he is. He's going to move the tanks straight up. Interference matrices onto the tanks that were already there. And Gabe's looking for the fight. Where are the auto turrets, Gabe? He's finally going to place them down, but his own tanks are all disabled. And again, Maru manages to clean this up, and I don't know how. It felt like Gabe, I mean, he had the Raven advantage. It was 12 to, I mean, barely any for Maru. But the auto turns didn't come down fast enough, and Heromarine just had to back it up. And now, once again, he's taken incredible losses with no way to rebuild it. 6 Ravens on the way at a time for Maru. Maru is adding on 4 command centers. He knows that right now, continuing to push his lead is the best option. He's going to snipe another command center here as Gabe just gets a little bit too comfortable with flying it out. And mind you, Heromarine has, I mean, he has a massive army. It's 47 workers, 143 army supply, 20 Vikings, and 13 Ravens. The air army for Heromarine is dominating. But if he's not able to use it correctly, then there's really not going to be a way that he fights into this game. He's going to siege up this base. Gas mining is still coming through for Maru, and that is what has been allowing him to continue to rebuild his Raven count time after time when he has been losing it. But just, I mean, Maru has been so good with his movement, though. He's constantly forcing Heromarine to respect the movement of his army. And so, you know, Gabe has to back up. He can't continue to siege this base because Maru is pushing across the map. It is just so well played by Maru in this positioning game. And that's really what TVT is as it gets later and later. This is a massive game of chess. And right now, Maru is just winning it. Gabe pulls the trigger. He says, listen, I just have to go. I can't wait any longer. He's going to snipe down the planetary fortress. The repairs are going to keep it alive, but the auto turrets soak up a lot of that splash damage before it is redirected towards the Marines. As Maru is just looking for the push, but the Ravens are here. Where are the auto turrets? Game, where are the auto turrets? Place them down! Is finally going to get some out, but there's still so much energy available, as now he's going to try and blanket on top of these tanks, and Heromarine! Is he doing it? He's going to crush through the tank line of Maru! He's going to be able to push back the Vikings and the Medivacs. And oh my, Heromarine! There's still so much bank for Maru to use, but he has to build up units, as Maru is going to siege the main base here of Heromarine. The reinforcements are going to try their best to clean this up. But Heromarine, he's going to just push it across the map? Oh my! And the Ravens just coming through clutch there. He has so much energy available. The auto turrets finally go down en masse, as Maru has been able to rebuild his supply. But if he loses everything here in the main base, then what is there left for him? As where are the auto turrets? Maru just drops the Vikings. He knows that that's what he needs to do. There's so much supply tied up here. Is there going to be enough at home? Maru is regrouping. He's adding on tanks. He knows that he needs to hold on. Suddenly this game has been just blasted open as Heromarine cleans it up in the main. And suddenly, this is anybody's game. Maru's bank is gone. And we are at even supplies. Maru's gonna look for it. He has some Ravens left, but there's still 3 tanks that can support. Gabe needs to refocus them, as he is now going to. Maru, though, is stimming on forward. Heromarine supply is dropping. The tanks are gonna get sniped. And we are gonna see Maru, clean it up. He's not gonna lose, but still, he has not won this game. It's absolutely insane. As Heromarine just fighting for his life. Tooth and nail right now. And look at this, Heromarine actually relanded this base. Mule hammers are going down. His mining is actually shooting through the roof as Maru. Where are his new bases? It is only this one in the top left. That's the only new mining base that he has. He's gonna try and land one on the Rich Vespine Geyser, but that one's not gonna be allowed to be taken. But it is 180 supply to 158. Gabe rebuilding a factory and some barracks. Maru is actually replenishing his worker count at the current moment, which is an interesting choice, as this base is going to get sniped. Maru knows there's no units over there. Gabe is just swinging everything on over to this base, and Maru has to be careful. Those tanks, he cannot afford to get them caught out. Those are his only 4 tanks, and Gabe knows it. Gabe's going to look to dive forward. He's going to snipe 1 tank. Is gonna snipe 1. There we go. As the SUVs all go down across the map. But look at the supplies, 195 to 156. Maru has rebuilt. Gabe has not. The army supplies are still fairly even, though. 130 to 130. As Maru once again is gonna snipe another base here. Loses a few Marines to that planetary fortress, and Gabe just backs up. But the big issue for Heromarine is he hasn't sniped the high value bases here that Maru has been trying to establish. Meanwhile, Maru did just clean up one of the last mining bases for Gabe. Luckily, he did get most of the minerals out of this, so Maru can't get much value by landing his own command center there. Uh-oh. Maru thinks he has an opening. He's gonna have to pull away. Again, right now, this 20 supply difference is completely in the worker count. It is 141 army supply to 137. Right now, the tanks, 5 to 4. 10 Ravens to 7. The Heromarine has so many Vikings, though. 21 Vikings. And if he's able to prolong the engagement, he can absolutely just knock down that Raven count. But Heromarine is just out of position. Maru has the concave. Maru is just going to stim forward. He catches Gabe out of position. And that is going to be the game as Maru stims through. And no matter how many Vikings you have in the air, is it enough? Wait, is it enough? Gabe's fighting back. Maru can't end it. What? How did Gabe win that? How did Gabe not die? It felt like it was game over. Maru had the angle. He had the concave. But the anti-armor missile. The Ravens stayed alive. 6 Ravens. More auto turrets went down. How many kills do they have? 6 kills. I mean, that was insane. Maru still has 8 tanks, though. He never sieged up his tanks in that engagement because he wanted to just stim forward. Heromarine. He's muling the space. Heromarine. He needs to buy time right now. I don't think he realizes Maru has rebuilt his army. He spent up the last of the bank that he got from these 2 bases. Heromarine right now, if he's able to keep up this mule mining on this base, can can actually rebuild his army, but he's just gonna take the fight. The Ravens are here, but they're low on energy. The Vikings hit the ground. The auto turrets go down. Heromarine just trying to fight it here, but it feels like it was a bit too premature, as he just needed to hold on. GG. All right. Welcome to Tropical Sacrifice. Top right-hand corner is Heromarine, and look at that. We finally have music. I missed it these last 2 games. And up 2-0 on match point. I could have called this. I could have. In the break, I went. It is Onside Gaming's Maru. Oh man, is there a better combo than match point in a important series and Maru throwing out the proxy 2 racks? No, there isn't. There is not. Oh, gosh. For those of you wondering, I know I didn't say this earlier. Hello, I'm TitanOnFire. I'm still recovering over a cold, so my voice is a bit stuffy. I hope that has not been too noticeable. I know the last game was a little bit distracting. But if you're wondering, why wasn't there music in the last 2 games? So the explanation is we're doing these, of course, for replay, and they're actually on the old patch. And sometimes when you load up replays from the old patch, the music glitches out, and so you get long periods of just no music. Which I'm glad that this game has music. Because let me tell you, this is so important. Heromarine right now is in a situation that he's been in so many times, where he gets so close, late game TVT, brings Maru to the edge. That last game, so close, so many times, but Maru just holds on. He's so tenacious. And he knows where his advantages are so well. But Heromarine just barely does not win. And it happens so many times. This time, is he going to be able to change the story? Is he going to be able to flip the script? Well, first thing he has to do is he has to hold off these Reapers. We are going to be seeing Heromarine immediately go out for this one to scout, and he's going to scout the fact that Maru's Reaper is here a bit quicker than you'd like. Maru gets off the first shot, so Heromarine just has to back on up. This Focus Fire, though, not going the way that Heromarine wants it to. As the factory is the biggest threat right now here for Maru. More SCVs pulled off the line are going to mean that this Reaper, is going to get very low. Good pullback from Maru, but Heromarine has held this extremely well. I think even better than in game 1. Didn't lose any of his workers so far, and is already going to be working on that Hellion production. Maru realizes it. It just immediately lifts up. He's only going up to 4 Reapers this time, as opposed to the 5 that he went up to in the last game. And so Maru's just going to look to transition out even quicker. Factory is going down back at home. And this is going to turn into a pretty standard macro game here from both these players. As the command center has gone down for Heromarine, this should be a pretty good timing for him. It should be about 20 seconds ahead of Maru's. Maru, once again, as he has been doing with these builds, is placing it on location so that he can make up the difference as Heromarine does build his in the base. Nice KDA charge, but you just have to be so careful as Maru. And he's going to be able to get out with just barely all of the Reapers. But extremely well held. I mean, Heromarine is in such a massive advantage now. And of course, 25 workers to 21, it doesn't look like the biggest difference in the world. But this early in the game and the fact that these barracks are across the map right now does mean that Maru just does not have an army, really. And so Maru is really relying on these Reapers keeping Heromarine at home. As he's going to dive up here, try and get a bit of damage. It's got to look for the trade here. But I think Heromarine, he has 3 Hellions. There's no way that you win this fight. I don't think Heromarine even lost a single unit. Finally, a Hellion goes down, but you lose 3 Reapers for it. And this has been an incredible start to the game for Heromarine. He's 43 to 26 supply. There is no army for Maru. He's building now a Cyclone. If Heromarine walks across the map, he could stop this from building, but I don't think Heromarine actually realizes just how badly this has gone for Maru. And of course, it is Maru, so we have to consider the fact that if this game is drawn out, there's always a chance that Maru is going to be able to win it. Maru is always going to be even with you. It's just, that's how it is. Even if he's behind, he's even. That's how it works. Because the last Reaper is going to jump up, and that's a very quick 3rd CC from Heromarine. Ooh, SCV is saved as well. But yeah, and it's interesting how Heromarine is trying to take this advantage. He's going for a quick third CC, which I don't think is my favorite way to try and push this advantage, because it's very easy for Maru to also just throw down a fast third CC and rely on the starport and factory production to keep him safe, with just tanks and ravens. It's very, very easy for Maru to do this. Honestly, I would rather Heromarine go for a more aggressive option, but of course the risk always is, if you go for that more aggressive option, well, Maru holds it. And then suddenly you've thrown away your lead, and you know, you've thrown away your chances at advancing in this tournament, because right now Maru is on match point. So Heromarine really is almost forced to be safe, even though he completely shut down that proxy reaper. And it's such an interesting dynamic when you think about it in that way. And it makes sense why Maru pulls it out, you know, because even if it doesn't do damage, you know, is Heromarine gonna be the player who says, well, YOLO, I'm just gonna go for the timing attack anyway and try and punish you? I don't know, not really. Heromarine is more the player that's gonna try and macro his advantage, or continue to macro to push his advantage forward. And Maru has recognized that, I think, very, very well. Is really, I think, cutting quite a few corners right now. And I mean, yeah. Very, very quick double NG bay as he puts down the 2 barracks. I think this is going to be, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see, I talked about this in game number 2, where Maru will sometimes go for 1-1 before stim. And we're going to see if that's going to be the case, if he does just start up that 1-1 immediately. But it's such an interesting way that Maru plays from behind, where he really prioritizes these upgrades to an insane degree. As stim is going to start up, I don't actually think, maybe the +1/+1 won't be started directly behind it. It looks like stim will be prioritized this time. So Reaper gets some decent information. Yeah, very interesting that Maru has not. Yeah, it's now going to start up the upgrades as he gets 200. But yeah, they're not going to even be much that much faster than Heromarine. So it's not going to be what I thought it was. It is just going to be the standard, the usual 2 barracks timing. Maru did just get the slightly faster engineering base, but the time that he waited allowed Heromarine to catch up. And so really we're just looking at a game where Heromarine has this 3rd command center on location much quicker than his opponent, is sitting only at 5 workers. But the income advantage is about 200 to 300 minerals per minute, which is, I mean, that's pretty big. You're getting, I mean, for this, you're getting a tank and a few Marines, because sometimes it's going up to, you know, 400 minerals per minute. So you're just going to have those slight advantages as Heromarine. Right now, we are seeing that in the fact that you're 2 Vikings up and a tank up. Sometimes, you know, depending on how the production cycles are working out. And so Heromarine, I think, is going to be in a very, very comfortable position in this game as it continues to go late, is adding on a 4th and a 5th barracks. Stim pack is done before his opponent. We are going to see Maru get up sensor towers. Maru has to play very defensive right now in this game. There is no other way to put it. If you don't play defensive, then he's going to kind of be in a really bad position. As Cyclone does clean up the Marines, we see Heromarine very, very good with his spacing of units for scouting. Has Marines kind of at every position to make sure that he knows if units are looking for backstabs. Has a Reaper here to scout for drops. Even has a Marine here to scout for drops. I'm loving how Heromarine is setting up this game. Just knowing that he has these small advantages, that he has the map control, and is really using that to his advantages. Maru Cyclone has managed to sneak out. He's going to be able to clean up a few of these Marines and start to deny a bit of the vision that Heromarine has had set up. And I think Maru even, ooh, is he going to, yeah. He's going to snipe that Marine. It can be replanted, and actually the Cyclone is going to go down anyway. I think, yeah. Very easy for Heromarine to clean that up. And once again, Maru is confined to his base, and if you're looking at the vision for him, there's nothing.
Mineral field depleted.
There's nothing for Maru right now. You know, he is stuck to his base, and that is it. There's a sensor tower. Heromarine is just dancing outside the vision of that, and yeah, it is just looking very, very. It's claustrophobic for Maru right now. There's no vision out on the map. He is stuck. He has to play defensive with this tank line. And we're seeing Heromarine is just getting slight advantages now in the upgrades. 5 seconds on the 2-2. That's not really going to be a big difference, but now 10 seconds or so on the +1 vehicle weapons. You know, if Heromarine consistently is mining more than Maru, plants down his 4th base quicker, then he can start to go into those better upgrades even faster, and then can also just have more units. It's really a double-pronged sword right now for Heromarine of advantages. As we are going to get an additional factory here for Maru. I believe, Heromarine already added on that second factory. So he's going to have that double tank production a little bit quicker. Also has the double starport started up just a little bit faster. Maru is looking to go out on the map here with a few Marines. Does clean up the Hellion and the Cyclone that we're watching that left side bridge. And, of course, Tropical Sacrifice with these 3 bridges. Maintaining control of these, or vision on these, is very, very important. Because they are really the attack paths. It's them, and if you're not going through them, you have to wander all the way around the map. As we saw, Maru was kind of starting to make his way, but did pull back. Maru's looking to establish space. Heromarine, though, is just stimming in. Gets a tank, but that's not really worthwhile. As this 4th base does come up, and it's going to be very, very hard for Heromarine to just immediately break Maru. And look at this. Maru's even placed down a very quick command center in the top left, away from the vision of Heromarine. I love that from Maru, knowing that he needs to try and find a way to get back into this game. But what better way than to do that, you know? It's very, very well done. A good drag of the anti-armor missile is going to deny that from landing on a majority of the army. But look at this tank difference. I mean, 10-5 is absolutely insane. As Heromarine is going to look for this push, and he can just siege up. He's got 10 tanks. You know, it's a massive advantage. We are seeing interference matrices, though, by Maru, but it just doesn't matter. As Maru's Marines are wiped off the map, the tanks of Maru are also going to slowly be knocked down. The Viking War has been won by Maru, and he immediately starts up Liberators to help push back these tanks. Heromarine realizes he can't really push this location anymore, but look what's going on behind it. Corvid Reactor, Ravens started up, plus 2 vehicle weapons already on the way here for Heromarine, and that is a pretty big lead that he's going to have on it. Again, Heromarine has that extra money. He had the base up quicker, and so he can afford to get that upgrade faster while also producing an army that is stronger than Maru's. Heromarine even has already landed out his 5th base, so despite the fact that Maru did go for a very quick 5th, kind of sneaking away to this top left, it's not really going to give him that big of an advantage. It will equalize his mining, which I think is the goal here for Maru, to get back into a mostly equal position. And he has done that, to be fair. Again, it's incredible how Maru is able to just make his way back into these games like it's no problem at all. Like, sure, it was scary for a few moments, but other than that, it has been, you know, Maru is back to almost even supply. The difference is going to be the upgrades. 3-3 started up for Heromarine even sooner than that of his opponent. And if these upgrades are able to come through, then this can start to be a very, very big issue. But for now, Maru is actually even. Maru has the same upgrades, even has Liberators, as the Viking count is in his advantage. The difference is the Ravens, as Heromarine had already started production of those. 3 command centers going down, though. These will all be turned into orbitals. Of course, that Corvid Reactor already done. The second armory even starting here for Maru. And again, this was what made the big difference in that last game. That second armory to really accelerate the air upgrades for Maru was a big, big deal. As the 5th bases are being established now. 3 Ravens at a time. Man, Heromarine is just... I mean, he's playing this very, very well. And you can see, I mean, even though Heromarine... That's the crazy part. Even though Heromarine is playing this so well, and he has so many advantages that he is gaining, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pull this to a victory, because Maru is even on bases. Heromarine is going to establish his 6th here, and that should finally push him ahead of his opponent. But I'm not sure if it will entirely, as that 6 command centers going down for Heromarine here, all of them going to be eventually turned into orbital commands. And oh man, this is these two, every time I cast them, it gives you the chills a little bit watching this go down. +1 ship weapon started up for Heromarine, even faster than Maru. But we are going to be seeing that Maru, again, with those 2 armories, a little bit faster, we'll be able to start to work on his plating. The defense for these units, the tankiness for them is so important. Scouting Marine is sniped. Maru adding on 3 additional starports, but again, it is much later than that of his opponent, who has caught up on the Viking count, and again, is still ahead in that Raven count, and will continue to pull ahead as he's producing off of 5 starports. And now, with the 6 base economy, Heromarine mining 4,000 minerals per minute with mules coming down. He has the energy available for it. Great Liberator siege, though. He's going to be able to snipe off a tank, a few Marines. Maru just trying to find some use for these units that he knows really, as this game goes on, are going to become less and less impactful because, or at least have no use in the current moment, as I should say. Liberators are great in the late game, but in the current moment have no real use for Maru, as really in the late game engagements, you're not going to have time to siege up those Liberators. They're much more useful in something like versus mech, if you have the air advantages bio versus mech. High-sec auto tracking and Neo Steel plating is coming through. The 2 armory upgrades as well for Heromarine. Ooh, another backstab with the Liberator is going to find 10 SCVs. Going up to 11. I mean, this is just some good damage. It's just very, very solid as somehow Heromarine... Oh, okay. I was going to say, he might have killed some of his own SCVs to open up supply. I was so confused how Heromarine says... Gameheart says he's lost 14, but he's only lost 10. Yeah, Heromarine killed a few of his own SCVs there to free up some supply for additional Ravens and Vikings. Third factory is going down. Maru, though, has actually bought enough time to catch up in his 3-3. So that advantage upgrade that Heromarine had is really no longer here. It's now just going to be Maru sitting very, very happily with his 3-3 upgrades done. And his plating as well, as opposed to the ship weapons of Heromarine, who, look at this movement, is just going to try and find an opening. Tanks are sieging up. And mind you, right now, Heromarine 23, Vikings to 18. The anti-armor missile, though, does fuzzy up the math just a little bit. Neither of these players with very heavy Marine counts. It's 10 to 13. You have more tanks than you have Marines right now. More Vikings than you have Marines, especially. Smart servos coming through here for Heromarine. More and more command centers on the way. Maru has almost fully caught up in the upgrades now. It is just going to all be about these positioning and these fights. And where is Maru's army? Well, it's a little bit out of position. Interference matrices go down on the tanks. Maru tries to respond, but it's a little bit too late before he's already taken quite serious losses. And now in the air, it's 33 Vikings for Heromarine. And how do you fight 33 Vikings? You just don't. It's 53 workers. Heromarine has kept himself to an extremely low worker count just to be able to push this position. As auto turrets are going to go down to stop the final tank from being sniped. The planetary is now under fire as Heromarine has just found himself in an incredible position. Planetary is going to fall. These 2-2 upgrades are coming through, but it just does not feel like it matters right now. The tanks have to be unsieged, and right now, they're just so much more for Heromarine. Again, 38 Vikings to 26. Even with the anti-armor missile, I'm not sure that it matters, as this just fighting straight up, and I don't think Maru can win this fight, as his supply is plummeting. And Heromarine feels like has started the comeback. Of course, still does have to kill his opponent, but that does not seem like it's going to be an issue. Auto turrets are popped down in order to help keep these Vikings alive, but right now Maru is fighting a losing battle, as it is now 25 Vikings to 14, and the lead is only going to continue to grow here for Heromarine. Even with the anti-armor missile, it does not matter. 20 Vikings still stand. The bases are being ravaged behind this as the orbital is going to fall. Ship weapons level 2 only just now finishes for Heromarine, but he does not need it in order to pull himself into this game. Heromarine continue to try and find an opening. Maru is still, able to re-max out. His mining is pretty ridiculous, as I believe mules have been dropped. Yeah. At that bottom right-hand corner base that Maru did establish kind of unbeknownst to Heromarine, and that is what's going to allow Maru to stick in this game right now, is the fact that he has that mining. But mind you, it's still 10 tanks to 5. It's 14 Ravens to 9, 22 Vikings to 12. You know, the advantages for Maru, he's built back up an army of Marines, but he's still sitting with 80 workers to 50. You know, there's 30 supply that Heromarine is using for army, that he is leveraging beautifully. There's no real way for Maru to fight this army head on. So Maru's gonna look, I mean, he's gonna try and find an opening here, but I don't know if it's gonna work out. He's just gonna stim on in. Maru's just going for it. Tanks in the back are gonna be disabled, but just look at the auto turrets going down for Heromarine. Even without the tank support, he's still just winning the fight with the air army, as the Ravens are just absolutely destroying everything. And Heromarine, man, he didn't have his tanks there. That was all Ravens and Marines. That's all you need. Who needs tanks? Who needs tanks? Nobody. GG. And we are on to game 4. Ladies and gentlemen, top left-hand corner. He's able to fight back and now is going to look to try and get the reverse sweep. It is Mouse Sports Heromarine. And what else would you do if you proxy barracks in game 1? It works. Macro game in game 2, you win. You proxy racks game 3 to win it. Heromarine comes back, defends it perfectly. What do you do in game 4? That's right, you double proxy racks again! From Onside Gaming, it's Maru. The absolute mad lad. And who expects it? Who expects it? Nobody! But Maru does it again. And once again, Heromarine is going to have to hold this. And if he's able to, we might just see a repeat of game 3. We could go to game 5. But that is all dependent on Heromarine holding this as well as he did in those games. And I'm pretty confident he can. I'm pretty confident he can. Actually, has Maru proxy racked every game? Did he proxy rack? Did he? No, he didn't proxy rack game 2. Did he? Did he? Has Maru proxy racked every game? Has he just been proxy raxing every game? Is that what's been going on here? Pretty much. There's no more Maru of a thing than just proxy raxing every game or almost every game in a series. As right now, we're gonna have the first Reapers being produced. Okay, Heromarine, here we go. We're doing it again. Come on. Instead of getting the old horse out from the stable, doing the same old deal. You know the routine. Let's see how it goes as the SCVs are being sent back. This time Maru not going to be keeping an SCV here across the map to help with this initial skirmish. It's a little bit different. As, clever girl. He's learning. He's adapting. The mind is growing bigger as Maru has now waited for the second Reaper to just go straight on up. Heromarine hasn't scouted it. This is actually potentially awful here for Heromarine, as we're going to see the Maru just, goes in, snipes off an SCV. He's going to be able to get the second one low. There's only one Reaper left, or there's only one Reaper here for Heromarine. The second one will be popping up. By that point, there will be 3 Reapers for Maru. Where is the Hellion? It should be started up just now. It's not being started up finally. The Hellion is on the way, but Maru, I think, has hidden this beautifully well. As another SCV is going to go down. The Reapers are trying to bring this forward. Maru is going to have to back on up. Now has 4 Reapers available to him. Oh my. This has already started out very, very well for Maru. And Heromarine, what is this? Why? Heromarine, what? He's building his command center on location. I know this was put down before he scouted the proxy racks. And I think that's why it was put down on location. But this is so risky right now for Heromarine, as we now have 5 Reapers available. And there's just some Marines. This is really sketchy for Heromarine. Maru is not able to dive in just yet. It's now going to try and loop back around here to the main. The supply depot is open. It can actually, if he knocks down that supply depot, he will supply block his opponent. And mind you, there's no supply for another. Oh, Maru. I don't know if he knows how big this is, but there's no more supply for that Hellion. It is finally started up just in time. Heromarine buys enough time to get the 3rd Hellion started. Maru sniping down the command center. 3 Hellions are here, 2 Reapers, and 3 Marines. It's a decent army for fighting. I don't know how good it's going to be, as a single Hellion has also been brought over here for Maru. As the barracks is floated over, Maru's going to look for the engagement. Snipes off a Marine immediately. Hellion is trying to get off some good volleys, but one Hellion is going to get very, very low. Oh, the DPS Maru dives in with the Hellion, and he gets absolutely everything as he just A-clicks on top of it all. The focus fire was spectacular. GG, Maru's going to win it.